Hi, my name is Corinne Kendall, and this is Pogo. Thanks for joining us today on Pet Detective. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about enrichment. What is enrichment? Behavioral enrichment is a technique that the zoo uses for lots of our animals, and it's basically just a novel stimuli, mostly we're talking about an object, that we give our animals in order to help them engage in some of their natural behaviors. So when we use enrichment, we're always trying to keep in mind what's the goal, what's the behavior we want to elicit. So for example, you probably use enrichment with your dog already, like dog toys. What's the point of a dog toy? What do we want Pogo to do? We want him to grab it, or maybe to chase it, and to chew on it, all those kinds of natural behaviors that he would use as a predator, right? So the toy, the enrichment, gives him a chance to do all the things he might normally do as a dog, and it gives him a more fulfilled, complete life, improves his well-being. So today, we're going to try out some enrichment that's totally new to Pogo and see how he reacts. And for today's experiments, we're just going to be evaluating the enrichment by observation. Does Pogo use the enrichment the way that we want him to? Is he showing the behaviors that we might want to see? Obviously, there's lots of other ways you can evaluate enrichment, and we're going to play around with some of those in a future episode. All right, so we are going to test out some enrichment using things that you probably have around your home already. So the first one's really simple, just a towel. And I'm going to take the towel and kind of bundle it up. And I'm going to hide some treats around the towel. I've just got a few little dog treats. And the goal of this is to give Pogo an opportunity to sniff and to explore and just to engage him in foraging for food. So sort of similar to the foraging techniques we tried last week. But this is not his main diet. This is just extra treats that he's getting. So let's see how he does. Pogo, come. All right, and we can see that maybe this didn't work quite as we intended. It's taken him a little longer, but now he's starting to use his nose and to sniff and search. For the next enrichment, we're going to use something that you probably have at home. So just a muffin tin and some tennis balls. And basically what you want to do is hide a couple of treats. Pogo, sit, preferably with your dog not watching, but hide a couple of treats underneath the tennis balls. And then we're going to see if he can find them. Okay. And again, this enrichment just gives your dog a chance to use their feet, maybe dig, to use their nose and smell. And so it's increasing their time spent foraging. And you can see he found the first treat pretty quickly. Now he's distracted by the tennis ball. Let's see. I only put 2 in there, so let's see if he correctly selects the next tennis ball. That would be really challenging. He did. He picked up just the 2 tennis balls, although he hasn't found the actual treat yet. But he picked up just the 2 tennis balls that had the treats. That was pretty good. Nice. So that's something else you can try at home with your dog, just a very simple form of enrichment. And it gave him a chance to search. There's a challenge because there's not a treat underneath each one. If you had a dog that didn't engage with this very much, you might try putting more treats the first time or a smellier treat the first time, and then you could make it more challenging with different types of food that don't smell as much and fewer treats over time. All right, so food-based enrichment is always a winner, but it's good to try other types of enrichment as well. So another common type of enrichment that we use at the zoo is scents. So we might use spices or perfumes, or maybe even the smell of an animal from a different exhibit to encourage our animals to sniff and search and spend time exploring their habitat. So this is a really easy one for you to do with your dog. You could do it in the house. You might want to do it outside, maybe in your backyard, but basically you can just take some scents. I've got some cinnamon here, and I'm going to sprinkle it in a couple of places. And then I'm going to let Pogo in and see if it encourages him to investigate and explore. He might be aware that there's a smell that he's not used to smelling in the room, and that should encourage him to spend some time engaging with his environment. That's kind of the goal for scent enrichment. Okay. Search. If you wanted to get really advanced, you could even link certain smells with rewards so that your dog might learn to prefer a certain smell and search specifically for that smell. So you could have 4 or 5 different spices that you've sprinkled around, but the dog only gets a treat when they find the cinnamon. That's basically how people do scent training, and that could certainly be very engaging for your dog as well. All right, so today we tried 3 different types of enrichment, but the options for enrichment are endless. You could try a sandbox. If you have a dog that really loves to dig, that might be a healthy way to encourage them to dig without destroying the rest of your yard. If you have dogs that loves to smell, you can try all different types of scents. Frozen treats can be great for the summer, so try freezing things like juice or chicken broth or even peanut butter. And that might give your dog something to engage with and chew on, and it'll take them a little bit longer to consume than maybe some of your other treats. And again, you could hide that to make it even more engaging. So the zoo uses enrichment, just like we did today with Pogo, to improve the quality of our animals' lives. It gives our animals, just as we saw Pogo demonstrate, an opportunity to do all the things that they might normally do in the wild, to engage in the full repertoire of natural behaviors. And that's what we helped Pogo do today. So be creative and give enrichment a try for your dog at home. Thanks so much for joining us on Pet Detective.